Hey guys, what's up? In today's video I want to unbox and review the Alien Isolation Xenomorph figure with you guys together. It's another NECA figure. It's been a while since I made an unboxing and like a toy review on my channel, but I'm really excited about this one because I'm a huge fan of the video game. I think Alien Isolation was one of the best horror games ever made, probably. So I'm really excited about this figure and I want to kind of evaluate it against the actual, figure in the game and make sure that it's true to all that. Looking at this box, it looks absolutely promising. I really love how it sits in the box, how it already has its legs down there, these kind of devil legs. It has like an additional joint to all the other Alien figures as it has in the game. There's not much to this box that I can say. An image of Ripley's daughter. Down there was Amanda Ripley, I believe. The Xenomorph there. Few logos on the bottom who actually worked on it. Just keep that there. You can pause and take a look at that if you want to. The sides have nothing on them. This one as well as does the top. And then on the back, it is also quite simplistic. It just gives you a bit of the story of the actual game. And then the other figures that are also available in this series. And I believe it is Series 6. And that is pretty much all I can say about the box. It's pretty straightforward. I like how it sits in there. I said it already. But let's not postpone it any further. I will now take it out of the box and check out how the actual figure looks. And here it is, guys, fresh out of the box, the Alien Isolation NECA Xenomorph figure. And I have to say, it looks absolutely fabulous. It's a great figure. It's really, really tall. I just put the Xenomorph Warrior back there and the Dog Alien back there, just in case I need to compare some of the details later on. But the first thing that I noticed is, due to the legs being so long, it's very hard to pose this figure. There is literally no way that this figure will stand on its own without the stand. And yeah, I guess I have to mention that it does come with a stand like the one you see here, and you will definitely need it. But once you get it into a position like this, I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks really aggressive. It has a lovely amount of details. I'm going to go into that in just a second. But I guess, should we just break down the functionality of this figure? So, as it is with the NECA figures, you can't move the head too far. But I did notice that this particular one, you can rotate it further than with some of the other NECA figures. And you see the head is going over the shoulder piece there, and that is quite unusual, right? It really brings out the details on the neck here. It really is quite far to what extent you can bend the neck. As it is with all the NECA Alien figures, you can remove this piece of the spine, and it actually sits quite solidly in there. Some of the other figures I have, like the Xenomorph Warrior back there, it is quite loose and wobbles and comes out. But yeah, you can move the head more than with some of the other figures. Now, looking at the arms, you have kind of a ball joint up here that allows you to go into all directions. And you have to forgive me if it's not really a ball joint. I'm not that much into it. But I guess you can see the functionality of the joint. You can move it back and forth, and then up and down it clicks into position, right? So this is the highest point. You can put it, and this is the lowest point, so it goes really close to the body. Then they added in one additional part of articulation up here, so you can spin the arm around, which is quite useful to get it into a really nice position. The middle joint in the arm is a ball joint, can be rotated 360 degrees all the way around, and moves freely. It doesn't click into position, so you have a lot of room to play with this one. The hand rotates as well as a separate piece. Now, let's talk a little bit about these hands. Obviously, they are very close to what we've seen in the game, and I have seen other Alien figures by NECA that have the same set of hands. But personally, I am such a big fan of these hands that they use in the Xenomorph Warrior right there. I think they look so much cooler. Obviously, it's not the ones that we've seen in the game, but I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of the sculpt they use here for the Alien Isolation figure, because the problem I have with it is, if you pose it, it always looks the wrong way around. It looks like the thumb is the one on the bottom, and then you look at it and you're like, wait, should this hand not be on that side? And flip it around. It just always irritates me a little bit. It is a matter of taste, you know, so there's no right or wrong really, and it is close to the game, so I can't really complain. It's just a personal thing that I noticed that I didn't enjoy too much. Do you see what I mean? It looks like the hand is the wrong way around somehow. It looks a bit eerie. But anyway, you can rotate the hand, as I said, 360 degrees, and you can put it up all the way like this, nearly 90 degrees, or down quite far as well, if you so want to. Looks like a squid, doesn't it? A bit like a squid. But yeah, so that's good. It leaves a lot of room for articulation. Then the whole hip part here, you know, this ball joint that they have in the middle, again, I think you can spin it 360 degrees. I'm not going to test this, I might break it, but it spins really, really far around, which is great because it allows you to kind of compensate for the lack or the relatively small amount that you can move the head. So if you want to, you know, have him turn around or something like that, you can definitely do that because this joint here just moves really, really far. Then the legs themselves can be brought up and down, so these click into position, right? So lowest part is like this, lowest position, and then the highest position is like this. There are only 2 clicks, 1, 2, that's it. So there's not a lot of room to play with these joints. You can rotate them as well, but again, the movement is relatively limited. The upper knee cap or knee joint here also clicks in position, can be brought down quite a bit, so I guess you could put him in like a crawling position if you want. And then the lower, and then I think it stretches out all the way, yeah, so you can put the legs completely straight if you want to. And then this joint down here can also be made straight, and I'm exploring this as I talk because I literally just took it out of the box. But yeah, you can make the whole leg straight if you want to, and then spin this all the way up. This is limited to this position, but it does leave a lot of room, like these 2 joints. I'm really happy with that, how it turned out. It leaves a lot of room to pose it. This bottom one does not click in position, so this moves completely freely. You can use any position you want. And then the feet. Now I'm going to bring this in really close because I love how the feet look. They seem to be quite inspired by the design of the Alien Queen by NECA. It just looks really, really powerful, and also the feet are such an iconic thing from the game because quite often you're hiding under a table or whatever and all you see are these powerful feet just marching past you. So I'm really happy with how the feet turn out, and what the cool thing is about them is they can be rotated like this in itself. Now the upper joint is moving as well, but you can move them like that in itself. And what's cool about that is that you can put this figure into a position where it looks like it's jumping towards you, right? So if you have him like this, you see you spin the leg a little bit, then it just looks like he's kind of jumping towards you. I think the position that I had him in the very beginning illustrated that quite nicely. So I'm really happy with the feet, with the legs. It looks really cool, but as I said, you will need the stand. This figure will not stand on its own, no matter how much you try. At least I couldn't get it to stand on its own. So guys, let's do the big measuring test because I always, you know, check whether NECA delivers on the length of these figures, and I'm going to stretch out the legs all the way here. On the Amazon page, it says this figure is 10 inches tall, and that is a lot, but if you see it here, it does look really, really tall. So let's see how much it measures from the top to the bottom. You can see it there. It is actually above 10 inches, nearly 10.5 inches from the top of the head to the bottom. That's great. I think this does, you know, the figure that we see in the game justice. The tail is extremely long. I'm going to measure that as well. From the tip of the tail to the body, that is 11, well, actually, it's nearly 12 inches, right? You can see it there. I don't know if you can see that, but 12 inches from the back of the tail. And I think it is slightly shorter, slightly longer than this one. So that's the Xenomorph Warrior. You can see it here. It is definitely 1 or 2 inches longer than that, but I think probably, and I'm just guessing here, the one from the dog alien is still longer because the tail of the dog alien figure is just absolutely enormous. So that is slightly longer, but you can see not much, maybe 1 inch longer. So it's got an absolutely enormous tail, and yeah, it looks fabulous in that regard. I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. So few things that I'm not entirely happy with, and for whatever reason they all focus around the head. The first thing is the tongue, and this is a problem I have with many of the NECA Alien figures. The tongue just doesn't look great, and if you look at it, it's wobbly, right? It doesn't really have a solid position. You can lock it in position like this, and then it kind of stays there, but it just doesn't really look great. And this is not only, like I said, in the Alien Isolation figure. It is in all the Alien NECA figures. I'm just not really happy with how they make these tongues. So I tend to just keep the tongue inside and pose the figures like this, and it just looks so much more, I don't know, aggressive. Now, just another note on the mouth. It does have really nice chrome teeth, so that is really close to the game. The other thing that bugged me a little bit is the jaw, right? So when you close the jaw, it looks really cool, it looks neat, it does have all this slimy detail that goes down here. But if you open it all the way, do you see what happens there? The jaw just ends. It ends up here. And then you can look into the mouth, right? So you can see the tongue alongside the jaw. And this is something they haven't done in the past, right? So if we bring in the Xenomorph warrior figure, do you see? You close the mouth here, and you open it all the way. These strings, or whatever you want to call them, still are long enough to connect the upper and the lower jaw. And in the Alien Isolation figure, for whatever reason, they didn't do that. The strings just end, right? And make it look slightly awkward when you pose him with the mouth fully open. So not ideal. It's a detail, you know, it doesn't ruin the figure by all means, but it is just something I noticed. And then last but not least, the transparency of the skull, right? The hull that he has here. Now, it looks absolutely cool. I'm not sure you can really see it. I'm going to try to produce some shadow here, like this. Maybe you can see it a bit better. You can absolutely see the nearly human-like details in there. You know, you see the eyes and the nose bone, all that. You see some veins going to the back of the skull there. You can see all the little detail in the skull. It looks cool, but my question is, how true is it to the game? Because I don't remember it being that transparent in the game. I might be wrong. I'm going to put a few images here now so you can compare it for yourself and see how close it is, because it's just in my memory it hasn't been that transparent, and as much as I like it, it's just not really true to the game. So yeah, guys, this is my review for the Alien Isolation NECA figure. I'm personally really, really happy with it. I think it turned out really great, and it's a great addition to the whole NECA Alien family, really. You can see how I'm struggling here to pose it quickly, just to give you guys like a nice shot in the end. It is very, very difficult to pose, but once you get it into a nice position, it looks really, really cool. So like I said, guys, this is my review. If you have any questions to this figure, or anything you want to mention, because I'm sure I forgot a million things, then leave all that down in the comment section below. I'm going to leave my reviews, or the links to my reviews, to all the other figures. The Xenomorph warrior you see back there. Where's my finger? Back there. And the dog alien back there. And I also did the alien queen from NECA, so I'm going to link all these videos down in the description. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please leave me a like. You can subscribe to my channel. I rarely do toy reviews, I have to admit that, but you know, I do loads of video game walkthroughs. I did an Alien Isolation review. Actually, I'm going to link that down in the description as well, because you know, it links nicely to this video. So as I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, share the video, follow me on Twitter. All the links are in the description, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.